Hey guys, welcome back to Trucking with Jazz. This video is going to be about what is credit. Just to begin the intro of it, I hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. Hey guys, and welcome back to Trucking with Jazz. So today's video is going to be on credit. I said I was going to do a video about this, and I want to do it, so let's tackle it. All right, so let's break down credit. Right, a lot of people know about it, some people don't. It's a lot of misleading information. Different things come up and apply to different people, and sometimes in today's society we have it where, depending on who you are, the algorithm is set up for us not to have. And I have to say it, I don't care what nobody say, that algorithms are not in place and have biases, because they do, depending on who's the creator, how they want it set up. Let's make an example of it. If a person that have the same experience, work experience, been have the same degree, um, same amount of kids, um, like I said, same work experience, two different names, and this name sound more ethnic, and this name sound more white. The system already can have it where, yeah, just the name alone, even though it have the same structure, same amount of kids, same marriage, same, like I said, the list can go on. It could be a lot of the same things, but what made in the system that this individual can get this and this one don't? And we have that throughout our society, period, in our systems that's in place. It's been there before time, and to a degree, it's shifting even in today's society. Some people don't want to admit to it, but it's the truth. Um, so let's break down credit, right? Credit breakdown, when you think of credit, it has five different compartments, and it's the payment history is number one. That's 35%. Yes, I jotted stuff down, so you're going to see me looking down to give you the information. All right, I want to be informative as possible, and I may put some charts in as well so you guys can see what I'm saying when I'm talking about it. Okay, so like I stated, the first one is the payment history, being on time with your payments. I know that it's not fun having missed payments. So I have on two of my accounts 2 months of missed payments. It was actually three, and I cleared one up. And it did overwhelm me because I came from having no credit at all. In my 20s, I knew how to get the credit, but at the time, like I had my own income, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Let me take my accountability. I didn't do what I was supposed to do to start it off, right? So maybe I applied for a credit card and they said, hey, get a secured card that I had to put my own money and use that for like a year. Let us see how you use that, and then we'll go ahead and upgrade your card. I wind up doing that a few years later in my 20s, and they did not upgrade my car even though I was paying it. I paid it on time, and I wind up stepping out on faith with my wife, and I was like, forget credit, because I knew what you can do with it, but it was just very overwhelming. So I wound up going to TJ Maxx, and that was my first credit card, $400. Like I said, I didn't have previous credit before. I never had a credit card, and that was my door opener into credit. And then from there, I was in school and I applied for a school credit card. And that was cool too. That gave me, some visibility, some limit. All right, so let's go back to the types. So I said the first one is the payment history. The second one is the types of credit. When you think of types of credit, that's 10% of your credit, guys. Types of credit is like school loan, personal loans, cars, mortgages. Those are different types of credits. Revolving credit. You have, I can't remember the other one, where it's like you would use that amount, and then they will want that balance at, like, they want a zero balance. I can't remember the name of that one. I'm gonna try to remember, but they do have a type of credit that does that, where you would use the amount and then they want that same amount back, like they'll just take it out. Then you have like net 30 accounts, net 45, that's the amount of time they give you. Net 60 accounts, Those are accounts that allow you to order, like through Granger or Uline. You order whatever you want to order. Um, they will send you a bill, and then they give you a certain amount of time to pay it. It's a little different from actually like a credit card. So yeah, similar but different. Then the third one is the amount you owe. That is 30% of your credit. You want to use 30% or less on your utilization. And the truth of the matter is, if you are in a situation, you want to keep your cars under 30%. And the more you have on your cards low, when it accumulate all of your cards, you still want it to be under 30%. A lot of people would, due to certain situations, they will max the card. I understand. Sometimes we need to max the card. You shouldn't, but sometimes stuff happens and you do. And the responsible thing is to sit the card down, pay the minimum or pay aggressively. If you pay the minimum in another week, you can come back and pay, $200. Then do that. And the problem is a lot of people get in a situation where they get these balances, they can't pay it, the interest they tackling on is huge. You have some situations where you don't have a certain APR. So you have variable APRs. Variable APRs meaning at different times in your credit history, maybe for 6 months, they have it where it's at 6%. And then when it hit a year, it goes to 17%. And 18 months after that is 24%. So you want to be careful of what you're signing up for. Yeah, you see the number and you get excited. Oh, it's $4,000. Listen, guys, don't get caught up in that. Especially if you're leaving balances on your credit, you could owe a lot of money in interest and it wasn't even worth the $400 you spent, but you had a hard time paying it back. So beware. Like a lot of people, and some people do have strong feelings like having credit cards is not good, right? You just use your own money. You never get in debt because you only can spend what you have. And with credit cards, like it give you the illusion that you have everything, and then when them bills start rolling in, and then you can't pay it start getting out of hand. You got people that have those addictions, like shopping. You may feel like I have a shoe addiction. I do not, guys. I only buy what I can afford. But I'm just saying, stuff be real. Let's get back to it. New credit is 10%. 10% of your, think of this as a pie, a circle, right? And it's 100% in the pie. This stuff is all broken down, allocating to that 100% that you have when you use credit. So 10% is the new credit. Every time, you go and you apply for a new credit card, they put points that allow it to drop down sometimes because they're doing a hard inquiry. And you want to make sure that you're going to get approved for the card. You want to not be applying for 3 and 4 cards at the same time. I'm not saying, I'm not an advocate of like have 19 cards. You got some people, they do. That's how they want to live their life cool. But like simple is less. Try to get, you may not start off having high credit limit. You have to build up to it. And that takes time. And with credit, it's a slow, steady process. Paying on time, going inside your credit, increasing the amount that of income you have, every 3 months or so. The let them like kind of snoop around in your credit report and say, oh, okay, I see she's been paying across the board and her stuff been low, so let's go ahead and increase it another $1,000. Sometimes that's how it be. Or you strategically like, okay, I got my number at a certain amount, and I made sure I paid this off, and this is looking good on my credit. So now I want to go ahead and apply myself and ask them for $3,000 or $4,000, because sometimes you can ask for a number and they can say yeah, no, So it depends on what it is that you're trying to do. All right, and the last one is the length of credit, the credit history. That, like, say for instance, you had a card that you had for 5 years or 10 years, that will hurt you. Uh, like a car note, you've been paying on it for 5 years. That will hurt you when that close initially, because that's what's showing that you've been paying consistently. You know how to like pay them back. They allow you to borrow $17,000-$20,000, and you are responsible. You don't have missed payments. You've been paying, extra payments. Like that's what creditors want to see when they're lending out money. And that's the heavy stuff that, like, it's beneficial to your credit. When those accounts get to a point where it close out, it kind of like really suck. And it really bothers me sometimes too, because I'm real big on, like, I like stuff paid off. I don't want to have no loan car note. People say just stick with it, and it's like, in my mind, I'm sticking with a debt forever. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, when I purchased my own house, my home, my first home, that's my home that I want to live in. I want to fix, 15 years, and I want to pay it off in 7. And that may seem like, Jasmine, dang, like, girl, you really trying? Yes, I'm really trying to not be tied to somebody for a long time, owing someone. Now that will hurt me with it. I was supposed to be sticking to 15 years, but I don't want to do 15 years. And in that case, to my extent, I really don't. I would rather show that I can pay in 7 years, pay them their money, and move on to the next project. And maybe that project may be a 10-year project. Who knows? But when it comes to my home, I really don't want to be tied to owing anybody anything. The way the world is, the way stuff is, like, set up your plan, stick to your plan, and get with it. All right. So that was just me giving you a synopsis of basically what credit is. Okay. What it is, the types. I could break down more about credit. Well, I'll go a little bit more, right? So, what's a good credit? Let's talk about the numbers, right? So, when you think about very poor credit, that's numbers that's 300 to 579. That is poor credit. You just got your first credit card. Maybe you don't have no credit card. They go look your stuff up. They say it's nothing here because nobody haven't reported anything. Sad to say, which is really messed up. We in society pay light bills, phone bills. I feel like it's very sad to see that they will quickly put that on your collections that you owe them, but they won't be responsible to report on-time payments for cell phones, for um, light bills, gas bills. Like, it's in your name and you're paying it, and they ran your credit to allow you to get these services. So I feel like that should be automatically mandatory to put on here, because I feel like the more, this is how they keep groups of people out. You get what I'm saying? You have people that they may not want, they traditionally they grew up on, like I grew up on, you spend the money that you have. This was your paycheck. Your paycheck paid this and this and this bill. You got $50 left to your name. You got to stretch it and make it work. That's it. It was no credit. I ain't learned credit until I got in college. Like, it's sad because my mom didn't have credit. My stepfather didn't have credit. My father didn't have credit. My grandmother, them, didn't have credit. Like, nobody in my family line, immediate family, couldn't tell me nothing regarding that. And it's sad. I'm the oldest of 5. And it saddens me when I think about it. Like, that's crazy. And then you realize how even in the school systems, they're not teaching you that. You may sit here and say, well, your family should teach you how to budget, how to pay bills, and that's why I mention it in my videos now. For people that have children that's young, if you're giving them $20 as a bill or allowance or whatever, teach them. It is imperative that our children know. They will not know unless you teach them. In the systems, in the inner city schools, I grew up going to inner city schools. I'm sorry, I no Ivy League, no nothing here. Just the different people that came. Shout out to OYC, Overtown Youth Center, because they taught me a lot of things that allowed me to be the woman that I am today. I am very appreciative, and they allowed me to go outside of me living in Overtown in Miami-Dade County, and it really gave me an eye opener to a lot of different things, even college tours that we went. Like, had I not been in that program, I would have not been exposed to Pace University in Lower Manhattan. Like, I would not have experienced anything if it wasn't for that program. So shout out to Alonzo Mornings and all those different people that invested in allowing us black kids to see what we was able to see. Like I said, I'm very appreciative. So fast forward, like I stated, a lot of us don't know. A lot of people still don't know. They see a lot of people with videos. If your grandparents, like I heard from a lot of people, hey, I was put on my grandmother's card. The grandmother that had a Macy's card for 15 years, and you got on their credit card, and voila, you got an 800 credit score. Unheard of. But kids that I ran into, got to know, had that accessibility that I didn't. And like I said, for us out here to have children, we got to do things. We got to do, once we learn, now we got to put things into place to help our young kids out, teach them the right way, how to do things. The world changed by one thing at like one person at a time. You know, you ain't gonna change everybody, but you know that's how the world works. But yeah, let's go back to the credit scoring number, right? So the fair credit is 589 to 669. That give you a fair credit, right? Sometimes during that phase, you can sneak up and get you a little $1,000 credit, you know, with somebody, depending on who it is. Maybe Capital One, you know, when you have a little fair credit. You really don't want to, you got to do what you got to do, okay? So whoever give you a card, pay attention to them APRs. You don't want to get stuck with that. No high APRs, but pay attention to that. But I mean, like, usually people will have a fair credit score and then they'll try to get a card. Then you have good credit, which is 670 to 730. Very good credit is 740 to 799. And exceptional credit or excellent credit is 80 to 850. Remember, credit scores, credit scores, there are different credit scores. You may have like a FICA 3, FICA 8, FICA 11. Like, it's so many different credit systems that different banks and companies use that it will be very hard for you to be like, oh, I know they're going to look at TransUnion, because that's not always the case. So even if you try to be like, let me just work on this because I know they're going to apply. Like, if you got insight and somebody said, hey, look, I know that they hit TransUnion, then sure, you apply for that and you made sure TransUnion look good. But overall, you want to make sure that your credit profile look good in general, because that's the only way you're going to set yourself up for success. We don't want to be sliding in by the skin of our teeth. Like, nah, we don't want none of that. But yeah, like I said, that is just, like I said, the credit, like, categories, what you can fall into. The goal is to be 750. And it's hard to get there, but when you get there, you get there. I actually have some information on like how to handle collections, how to charge off collections. I actually have letters that you can write. I'm not going to read it to you guys, but in the next video, in another video, I'll put like collections or like goodwill letters and stuff that's written up that I will click or leave a link inside the description for you guys to click it and you can use it. I will leave the blanks. The blanks is where you put your name and information in. And like I stated, we can go through charge-offs, medical collections, goodwill letters, verifying your debt. Not, you know, saying that that's your debt, but just like verifying it. What's bankruptcy, Chapter 11, Chapter 7, who should apply for those. I have all that information. And I'm going to give you guys all the tips and things that you need to be set up regarding credit. Don't feel like it's no way out. It is. It's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take not buying your shoes, not going out to your favorite restaurants all the time, because you have to sacrifice to get the things that you want. I'm not saying go crazy, guys, but I mean, like, we got to sacrifice to get the things that we want. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. This was just a little bit about credit, and whatever questions you guys have, I'm going to actually steer this also another video into how our credit works regarding business, what kinds of business credits, what companies we should use. Make sure y'all leave in the comments below what questions you guys have regarding credit, whether it's personal, on the personal side, or trucking side. I do have a lot of different information. I did build my business credit, so just let me know what you guys want to hear, and I'll give you the information. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease, and thanks for watching the video.